Yo, what is good, everybody? It's Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me. Back at it with What If Tanjiro was able to use Chakra Part 2. And if you haven't seen Part 1, please go check that out. And yeah, I mean, basically, little quick recap of where we left off was Tanjiro just quote unquote beat his first demon. You know, not really. But he's about to start training with Urokodaki. So let's just get right into it. I'm not gonna waste any more time. Let's just get right into it. So basically, he begins his training with Urokodaki, and just like in canon, he begins to climb that mountain for the first time, and he tells Tanjiro, like, Tanjiro, you make it back down before sunrise. Like, I'm not gonna wait for you. All that, you know. So Tanjiro begins running into like tons of traps, log rollers, fucking death pits, bro, like everything, man. But he decides, oh, maybe if I use my sense of smell, I can get through this a lot easier. So he starts using his sense of smell, and he's able to kind of dodge and weave some of the traps. But he realizes that his body isn't strong enough to like dip and weave the attacks that he's sensing through his nose. So I feel like he basically learns, like, okay, now this is the time, like I have to this is my training right here. Like, I gotta get better, I gotta get stronger, like for Nezuko, for my family, all that. So then he barely makes it back, and he just goes to sleep, and he enters the mindscape again, and all he hears is, hello, young Tanjiro. And he's like, Sage of Six Pass, hello. And he goes, I see that you're learning how to kill demons, or these so-called demons. He goes, yes, I am. It seems really hard, but I'm just gonna keep pushing myself and pushing, you know, just for the sake of Nezuko and my family. He goes, well, look, I would love to show you some basics of chakra control that you can, of course, practice on your own. And Tanjiro basically responds, and he's like, really? Thank you so much. Like, that would mean so much. I appreciate it. And he basically teaches Tanjiro, like, the idea of focusing chakra in your feet, in your hands, and your and all that, like, you know, from water walking, tree climbing, tons of stuff, you know. And he basically continues for the next 2 years training under Urokodaki, right, just like in canon. And after those 2 years of just learning and training, his body is, like, you know, pretty strong, and obviously he's been writing every single day to, like, basically tell Nezuko, like, all the stuff he's been doing and going throughout this whole process of trying to become a demon slayer. And then basically Tanjiro and Urokodaki walk up to the mountain, and walk up to this big rock, and he's like, Tanjiro, like, you've done so well, but this is the last thing that you need to qualify for the final selection. And he's like, what do I have to do? Like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, you need to slice this huge rock. And Tanjiro looks at him and is like, wait, really? He's like, yes, this will be hard, but I know that, like, you'll be able. And Tanjiro kind of cuts him off a little bit. He's like, no, like, is there a bigger one? And he's like, what do you mean bigger one? And he's like, never mind, don't worry about it. And then the Sage of Six Pass basically goes into his mind. He's like, you should slice this without chakra control, or the assistance of chakra. And Tanjiro basically agrees, and he was like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, because chakra might make this a little too easy. And we're gonna recap basically what I feel like he would have learned based over that 2 year gap. Since he doesn't really have grasp on, like, chakra itself, I feel like he basically like mastered like water walking and stuff like that. So he has pretty good chakra control in terms of, like, his body. And he's also working on, like, forcing chakra into his sword, which I think that's basically what he was talking about, that he forced out chakra into the sword. It would have made it pretty easy to slice through the rock. And he's also working on the gates, but he's only currently able to go to the third gate, because obviously, like, it's very, very, very draining. Like, the third gate is practically like a do or die, like, if after this I'm gonna get knocked out, like I'm gonna be out cold for a while type of thing for him, because he's still not all there, you know. So he basically agrees with Hagoromo. He's like, yeah, you're right, like I shouldn't do that. And then he just begins training again, and this boy with a mask comes out of nowhere, and he's like, Tanjiro's like, who are you, dude? And he's like, I'm Sabito, like I'm a demon slayer. And he's like, and then he's like, basically, like, now I want you to fight me. And Tanjiro kind of looks at him weird, like, you sure, man? Like I don't even know who you are, dude. And Hagoromo says, like, no using chakra control. And then Tanjiro's like, oh, what do you mean I can't use chakra? And then Sabito kind of sees him, like, talking out loud, and he's like, what are you talking about? What are you, like, And then he's like, never mind, don't worry about it. He's like, alright, let's go. And he basically charges at him, and Tanjiro just proceeds to get his ass whooped. I mean, like, nothing's gonna change on that. Like, not using chakra, he's still gonna get his ass whooped. And he basically tells him, like, if you ever hope to, like, slice through that rock, you're gonna have to beat me, man. Like, you're not gonna be able to, like, you're not, like, strong enough. Like, you're not ready. And then Makomo, or this young girl just out of nowhere, is sitting on the rock, and he's like, you know, you could be nicer, Sabito. Sazo kind of like, whatever. And then Makomo's like, you know, he really did his best. And in Tanjiro's mind, he's like, I kind of technically didn't, but whatever. They don't need to do it. They don't need to know that. And then Tanjiro's like, what are you guys doing here? Like, what? And she's like, I'm with Sabito to help you. And he's like, and Tanjiro's basically like confused. He's like, how do you guys even know I'm here? Like this. He's like, we're Orokodaki's like old students. And he's like, oh really? That's amazing. And at this point, like, Tanjiro's like pretty clueless to the fact that these people are basically spirits, like, here to like guide him and help him, you know. But he basically begins to like keep training for the next like 6 months, and then he has that final duel, right? And that final duel with him, and he goes, and they're just like, now go! And they charge at each other, and Tanjiro just like opens his eyes, and he just sees this like darkness, and then he sees Sabito, and he sees this white lingering thread, and he's like, that thread, I see it. And when it tightens, and he swings, and it slices Sabito's mask clean off, and he's like, whoa, I did it without even the use of. And then Sage of Six Paths kind of like chimes in. He's like, use of chakra? You didn't even use chakra, kid. Good job. He's like, I knew you were getting better, but like, this is amazing. You haven't even been using chakra, and like, your speed is pretty good. He's like, thanks. And then Sabito looks at him and was like, who the hell are you talking to? He's like, oh, sorry about that. And soon after, he looks at the rock, and he's like, well, this should be easy enough, and slices it in half. And he's like, I guess that means I'm ready for the final selection. And he begins to go off to the house, and like, you know, and then talks to Urokodaki, and they eat like heavy meal, like he's never eaten before, right? And Urokodaki basically tells him like this is a cause for a celebration. Not many people, we don't get to celebrate very often, and I feel like this is definitely like a cause for it. And right before he leaves, Urokodaki tells him, look, I'll watch after Nezuko for you. Like, I don't want you to worry about that. You need to worry about the final selection. And he thanks Urokodaki, and he goes to turn and leave, and he's like, bye, Urokodaki, like, I'll talk to you when I get back. And he begins running off, and he stops, and he turns, and he goes, say bye to Sabito and Makomo for me. And just begins running off. And completely shocking Urokodaki. He's just standing there, like, at a loss for words. And now he's off to the final selection. On his way there, and well, he finally gets there. He sees these like cherry blossoms type of thing. It's like these pink, like bright, like trees that are like just majestic. And these two little girls will look like little girls to him. They're just talking in like this weird robotic state, and are basically telling him that beyond these like cherry blossoms and beyond these trees, like there is no protection from demons. You are on your own. And Tanjiro looks at them and just thinks to himself, this is what I've been training for. This is how I'm gonna get Nezuko back. This is how I'm gonna avenge my family. And then he kind of focuses down and goes, Haragoma, Sage of Six Paths. And he replies, yes, Tanjiro. I think it's time to show off this chakra I've been working on, and these moves I've been working on for a while now. And he thinks, and then Haragoma thinks, he goes, I think the final selection is the perfect time to unveil it. Yeah, definitely. And I think that's where we're gonna end off this part of what if Tanjiro was able to use Chakra. When we get back to part 3, we'll be talking about, and we'll be going over the final selection arc. I hope you guys are excited, because I know I am. Sorry for the layoff in terms of videos. I'm back in school, so that's a little rough, but hopefully I can get these out a little quicker. And I appreciate all the support. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, any suggestions, send me suggestions that I should do in the future. And yeah, I hope all y'all had a great day. All right, later.